Hello, everybody. Welcome to the You Are Worthy Network. I'm your host, Steve Wormer, and I hope you had a terrific weekend. I am super excited to be with you today. I know without a doubt you're going to love our guest today. She is talented, she is disciplined, she is focused, she has a big heart, and so much more. I would like to tell each of you you're worthy. You're worthy of love, respect, and success, no matter what your background's been. And I say that with compassion, but don't let your past, matter of fact, your past does not get a vote on your present and future decisions. And because I have an event coming up, I am going to take a second to plug it. A week from today, July 20th, 4 p.m. Central, my fellow coach Christy Dees and I are putting on a 1 hour masterclass worthy of your next step. Whatever it is that's holding you back from taking that next step towards that dream that's on your heart. And as soon as I said that, you knew exactly what I was talking about, didn't you? We want to help you get past those barriers to get unstuck and have some momentum. So join us a week from today at 4 o'clock Central. We'll do it together. You're worthy of that next step, whatever that is for you. Okay. So, with all that being said, I want to introduce you to my new friend and amazing entrepreneur, Judy McMurtry. For 33 years, Judy showed up every day in an industry that didn't always make space for her voice. She led teams of up to 170 people across 5 generations at Northwest Airlines and Delta Airlines, navigating dysfunction, low morale, and operations that others had written off. What she discovered along the way wasn't just how to run a better operation, it was that people, when they felt seen and valued, are capable of extraordinary things. Judy took one of Delta's lowest performing stations and transformed it into a top performing operation that sustained excellence for years. That achievement earned her recognition on NBC and Netflix. But the real story isn't the awards, it's what it took to believe the turnaround was possible when no one else did. Today, Judy is the founder and CEO of JM Excel Consultant LLC and the creator of the Total Business Turnaround Framework. She works with business owners, executives, nonprofits, and leaders who know something is broken but can't quite name it. Judy has a gift for uncovering what's hidden in the gaps, friction, and quiet dysfunction, and for building the clarity and alignment that enable organizations to stop surviving and start thriving. Her mission is simple, but deeply personal. Every organization already has the potential for greatness. Her calling is to help leaders finally believe it and then live it out. Ooh, there's gold in all of that. Judy, welcome to the You Are Worthy Network.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. I do appreciate it.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you, I probably shouldn't even say this, but that quiet dysfunction really,
Ooh.
boy, caught my attention. We'll get there, I'm sure, but wow. Judy, tell us where home is. Where do you do life?
Well, I was born and raised in Detroit, Michigan, but right now I'm in McDonough, Georgia, is where I do life right now, currently. I've moved 17 times, so
Ooh, that's a lot of shuffling around.
yes, it is.
McDonough.
Yes.
Where is that in proximity to downtown Atlanta?
It's like south of downtown Atlanta, maybe about 40 minutes south of downtown Atlanta. It's off of
Like,
75, I-75 South Interstate.
uh, Okay, okay. But it's still way north of Macon, right?
It's between Macon and Atlanta, if you look at it that way.
I think I remember you telling me that. Yeah,
Hmm.
I just drove on 20 through Atlanta 4 times in the last week.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, I'm good with I'm good with being done with Atlanta traffic for about a year.
Oh, yeah. Yes, I totally understand that.
Um, so who do you do life with? Tell us about your family a little bit.
Okay, so I have two children. One lives in Texas, the other Detroit, and I have five grandchildren and one on the way and a bonus
Oh,
grandchild. And again, they're in Detroit and Texas. So basically, I'm here with me. I do life with me and many other friends and family members abroad. So I do travel quite a bit as well. So
awesome. Well, congratulations on the new grandbaby on the way. Is it like
thank you.
imminent, like any day?
On August 17th, she's due.
Oh,
So
a
yes.
month, maybe
Hmm.
5 weeks. That's
Could be.
close.
Yeah, very close. Hmm.
Oh, wow, that's exciting.
Yes, it is.
Judy, what do you like to do for fun? I know you're a hard worker. I
Hmm.
know that from talking to you once before. I see it in the bio. You're dedicated to your craft. What do you do to relax and have some fun?
Well, I enjoy travel and I also enjoy playing golf. I play golf, go to jazz concerts, and just sitting back with friends and enjoying laughter. That's it. I enjoy relationship with people. So I have people that I know from all over the world that I have close relationships with. So that's what I enjoy.
Is golf just for fun, or are you sneaky competitive?
Well, I do play in a number of tournaments, so
You,
yeah. Well, when I was with Delta, it's funny you would say that. Um, I never thought of golf. I love sports. I always played sports even through high school, but golf was like, oh, who wants to do that? But several years ago, when I was working for Delta, one of my closest friends, we became friends because of a relationship at work. She was in sales and I'm operations, so celebrity golf tournaments that host high value customers. She convinced me to go to the first one, and after that, it was like six and seven of them a year that I would attend. And then I started loving the game. It was fun, and now I play for fun.
that's awesome. I could tell you golf stories, but yours are better. I could tell you about blisters and yeah, yeah, no.
Yeah, yeah.
Um I'd like to travel back in time with you.
Okay.
Let's go back to high school,
Hmm.
specifically senior year in high school, and even more specifically, let's say graduation is just 48 hours away. You've got the cap and the gown, maybe you've got a class ring. Where are you in your mind at that point? Like, are you, gosh, this has all come to an end so quickly. I'm going to miss these teachers. I'm going to miss my friends. I'm going to miss my counselors. I'm going to miss the principals, even. I'm going to miss this place. I can't believe it's gone. I guess I better get a job this summer. I don't know what I'm going to do this fall, but I'll figure it out as I go. Or I can't wait to get out of here. 48 hours can't come fast enough. I am senior itis on a 10 scale. I'm a 12. See ya. I've already got a job this summer. I know what I'm doing in the fall. I've got a game plan. I even know what I want to major in. I know what I want to do with my life. Let's go. Or are you somewhere in between? I think I know the answer, but I look forward to hearing it.
Okay, okay. I want to see if you know the answer. Well, one, I graduated a year early anyway. I graduated at 16. And so I was focused on getting it all done, getting out of high school. I did play sports, like I said, in school and had a good time. But that 48 hours, yeah, I was working up until graduation day. So I did have a job and I was working and I had already enrolled in college. So I was prepared to go to college. I enrolled in Community college, just to get a taste of college first and to get your general elects out the way. But my headspace was when I was a child, I knew I wanted to be an airline. I didn't know what that looked like because I know I wanted to travel, but I kind of lost track of that throughout, life. And then I kind of explored some other possibilities. So I was in and out of college and, really trying to discover myself at that point in time. So after I got out, I did go straight to college, but I was in and out and working various jobs until I landed at Northwest Airlines.
Okay. So you're saying even as a little girl, aviation
Mhm.
was in where did that love of
It
flying
came
come from?
from because back in the days, I know I'm dating myself, but before TSA and security, we were able to go on a field trip at the airport when I was about 6 years old. We sat on the plane and they had to drag me off the plane, and I was about seven, and I just saw possibilities. Ever since then, I had a strong passion for wanting to travel. I mean, I just couldn't shake it. I just didn't know what it looked like because other than that exposure, our family didn't travel much. And I was so different from my family members. So I didn't know where that passion came from, but I did that plane. I just was ready to go.
That's fascinating. I mean, you loved it as a little girl and never left it never left you.
It never left me.
That
Nope.
that is so cool. Um, I remember my dad used to work for Eastern Airlines,
Hmm.
and we would get the wings and stuff like that that he would bring home and stuff. And I thought that was so cool, but the love for it didn't stay with me like it did for you.
Hmm.
I think it's a fascinating industry for sure. So, how did you get on with Northwest, and what did you do early on?
Early on, like I said, I worked in retail. I worked in even like Crane Communication Publication Company. I also worked restaurants, just odds and end jobs. But one day they had an ad in the paper that they were hiring, and I applied and got in through reservations part time. And so reservations was kind of a struggle. I stayed there for like 8.5 years. To be tethered to the phone was pretty hard for me because I'm a person that likes to move around and get around. But that's how I was able to get in. I also went to it's a school. One day we were at home and a salesperson came door to door, and it was Wilma Boyd School, Wilma Boyd, and it was a school in Pittsburgh that I talked my mom into allowing me to go for like 4 months. So that opened the possibility even stronger for me wanting to continue to apply for travel in the airline industry.
Okay, and now Northwest was based out of where?
Minnesota was their headquarters and Detroit. But
Okay,
I came in through the merger of Republic and Northwest when they merged during that time frame. So it was challenging to say the least. But yes, I got in the door that way. They were hiring because of the merger with Republic Airlines, and that was in Detroit, Michigan, in the
okay. I just want to
reservation center.
Okay, I just want to
Mhm.
clarify because I know I'm confused. Like, so this was Northwestern, but there was a Northwest also, or
No, no, no. It's Northwest.
is Northwest? Okay,
It is Northwest.
okay,
People
but
get it
they're
confused with Northwestern, but I think they called it that, but it's Northwest.
okay, but they've ceased operations since, right?
They merged with Delta Airlines. That's how it became what, yeah, it's through a merger.
That makes total sense. Okay,
Hmm.
so you did reservations for
Hmm.
Northwest for 8.5 years, and then
Well,
what?
that was in reservations. And then I transferred to the airport for a customer service role. And in 6 months, I became a trainer to customer service agents. I was not, I liked a lot because I, came out there and took that position that other people wanted who had been doing customer service for a long time. And I beat all of them out with just 6 months experience in that position. But I did that
Wow.
role for 5.5 years, corporate training.
Wow. And I take it's during that 5+ years that you start seeing the underbelly of the operations, good, bad, and ugly, right?
Oh, absolutely. Because I traveled a lot, training in other countries as well as the United States, and I was able to train people from around the world. So that was amazing, and to see the operation fully, to understand what it takes, if when agents or employees are not able to be properly trained. That's when it was like 6 and 7 weeks training back then. Now it's totally different. It's all on the computer, and sometimes they don't even have mentorship programs. So we'll talk about that later on what I had to do in Philadelphia to, backtrack on that. But yes, it was
Mm,
I got a chance to really see it, but I changed positions so much because after that I became a supervisor. I also was worked on a project to move the terminal because Detroit was in a they had to redo the terminal and they moved the location to where it was. And I was able to get selected to be on that project for 9 months too, to help that move. And I also was, like I said, a supervisor helping out in so many areas, international rivals, so many different places. I worked everything you could think of, pretty much, fix them but fly them. So I'm really familiar with it. And at that point, working and seeing the inside out, the training, the blowing, above wing, and it gave me a bit broader perspective. So then they kept asking me to be a leader. I didn't want to be a leader. I love my flexibility. I got a chance to fly. I can switch my days, and it was great. But one day I heard God say to me, stop complaining about your leaders because you're part of the problem if you don't do anything about it. So that hurt.
mm,
I was like, whoa, you're right. I can't. So I applied for a leadership role and got it, and put a lot into it, poured a lot into it, and helped so many people advance. That was my objective as well. You saw the potential in the employees that was not being utilized or discovered, and I was helping them in that leadership role. So much to a point that they had me go to Hawaii, of all places, to work for almost 2 years. I went kicking and screaming to Hawaii. I did not want to go to Hawaii.
you didn't want to go.
No, but I went. It was a lot, to go to Hawaii. It's such a long way. It's beautiful island. I oversaw Maui and Kona as well in the customer service arena, but it was a challenge. It was a lot going on, and a lot. They didn't have a manager who wanted to go there and who was dedicated to go. So they knew I had the skills and talent and the influence with employees. So they figured I would be a good fit. So that's how I ended up going. But I turned that position down like 3 times. And I'm like, okay, God, if you really want me to go to Hawaii, here's the amount. I gave him an amount just to see if it's him. And he came back with the exact same amount. So I had no choice but to go. But
Oh
it,
my
it was
goodness.
funny. I was like, oh no. So that was my first move away from home, Hawaii. You know what I mean? So it
Yeah,
was a
wow.
challenge.
Most people give their left pinky to go to Hawaii for 2 years. Did you already have your kids by this time?
Well, yes, my daughter was older. She didn't want to go, so had her own place and working. But my son, he's like, oh, he was 16. Let's go. I love it. I want to go. He only stayed with me 3 months and he bailed. So, so he
Only
went back to.
only so much aloha and ocean you can stand, I guess, right?
Yes, yes, exactly. It was too far from his friends. And that 6 hour time difference calling people, because you wouldn't have your family and friends wouldn't call you much because they would wake you up in the middle of
Mm,
the night or you wake them up. So you lose contact with the mainland. And then it's just so laid back and
mm.
so kind of slow in that sense. It's a little bit tough, as far as, yeah, it's a big difference. It's a big adjustment when you live there.
Well, that's fascinating. Yeah, I never thought about the time difference and how that could affect the
Hmm.
relationships on the mainland. That's a great point.
Yeah, and then it's not much to do. It's all tourists, right? So how many
Mm.
luau's can you go to? How many times can you see Pearl Harbor movie, when your friends come and visit, right? So that's
I,
another piece of it.
yeah, I guess 2 years was just enough then, right?
It was a lot. It was actually a year and a half, but it was a lot. So when we
Uh,
merged Delta and Northwest, that was good because we were the first city to actually do the first merger. We had 747 aircrafts. Delta was union, non-union, and Northwest was union. So we had to bring those
Mm.
two together during that merger, and all eyes was on Hawaii to watch how we did it because they would check in at the ticket counter for Delta, and then they would go to that area. But then the bags had to be brought to Northwest plane, but they couldn't come within the circle of the plane. And then the Northwest agents had to work the gate. You know what I mean? But so we only have 4 weeks to prepare too, so it wasn't a lot of time to train. We were like 15 years advanced in technology as far as Northwest was to Delta because we had point and click. They had DOS. They had Delta term kind of kicking in, putting in commands. And so to try to teach the agents to go back to do that was a little challenging too. So that's why.
So was all that training in Detroit, or did you have to move to Georgia right away?
Well, no, that training was in Hawaii. Then I moved back to Detroit during the merger. They, have to put certain people, certain places, especially leadership team. It's like a chess game, the way they do it when they do a merger. It's very interesting. And
Mm.
so to see who qualifies, because now you got double of everybody, right? So you have to make sure you have people in place. And they moved me back to Detroit on the ramp. That's where some of the challenges started coming too, because if you look at the ramp, it's 95% male. I'm female. They don't like female managers on the ramp. Out of 36 ramp managers, it was only three female managers at the time. And because they always had challenges of females working with the men as leaders, it's that balance. So I had to learn that perfect balance, how to work with the guys to get them to do certain things, me being a female, and not be intimidated by them as well. Because it was like a union, even though we merged, it's still with Delta and Detroit at the time of the merger. It was going through the merging process, but at Northwest it was union on the ramp and they were a little tougher. So that was, yeah, you talk about you are worthy. I had to pray every morning on that. That was challenging.
Yeah, there's a saying about leadership. You got to have a soft heart and a tough backside. And it sounds like you had to you had to apply that often in that job, right?
Yes, yes, exactly. So yeah, you had to learn that balance. And you had to get the respect. Now, see, the thing is, as a female, you're not treating them like kids or talking down to them. You had to make sure you were strong enough for them to understand and respect you, you know what I mean, as a female, but not
Mhm.
try to talk down to them like you a mother or anything like that. So see, that balance was a little challenging, but I learned the secret. I'm gonna keep it to myself, and those guys would do anything I needed because I learned how to communicate with them.
So it didn't involve food at all.
Of course they did.
Okay, so there's a delicate balance. There's a secret part you can't tell us, but food did help.
Food help. Oh, yeah, food help. It's all about respect and knowing them each individual, and how you communicate. You have to communicate with people on an individual level, really. You got to get to know them for what turns them on or how they click and register in order for them to respect you. And you have to definitely lead with the heart to show them that you do care for them. You
Oh
do
yeah,
care. And they know
that's right.
that.
That's right. So tell us about the Delta days, and then even in that dialogue, tell us how the Delta days came to an end and you transitioned into your own business.
Okay, so um, with all the last station that I worked or operation, we call it Philadelphia. Um, it was a little challenging for being a female station manager too, because at this point in time, when I first got to Delta in Philadelphia, it was all white male. I was the only female running the airline. So that's why so then it switched over to all females. But to be able to run this operation, it was really challenging because they were number 19 out of 21 when I got there. Nobody really wanted to take on that leadership role there. And within 6 months, we turned it around, become number one in 6 months, and stayed in the top five for 6.5 years after that. So I
Wow.
got a chance to know all the employees. I work real closely with them. And usually, when you do that kind of operations, 2 years, get in, get out, right? But I stayed longer because there was so much work that had to be done to really have that operation sustainable. Then also became chair of the Airlines Council in the Philadelphia area, even though it was ran by American Airlines. I mean, they had the hub there, and 70% was American Airlines. But I was chair, and we grew the airport 15% in 3 years. And usually you can't do that too. Everybody grew, working collectively together under my leadership as that chair. And that's again, I was known for being, they called me the mayor of the airport. I hugged everybody. I don't care if you shine shoes, clean the airport, pilots, it didn't matter. So everybody would hug each other. It really, because initially they told me don't hug anybody when you go to Philly. They don't like to be touched. Don't do it.
Mm.
But I did, and it triggered that in the Philadelphia airport, and we all just got so close to one another. Even the other airlines, we were so supportive. But then, 6.5 years in, it was time to move on, right? So I put in for 42 positions, Steve. You hear me? To try to
42.
transfer to another. Yes, within the last couple of years, like just before COVID, I started about 2018. I put in for 42 position, interview for 15, and got rejected, even though I had qualifications for it. I didn't blame Deltas per se for it. First, I almost thought I wasn't worthy. However, I knew it was time to go. In my spirit, I knew it was time to go and from leave the airline industry and do something bigger and a bigger impact because I can help so many different people out and so many different organizations. So I never blamed the airlines. It did hit me initially, about the first five rejections, but then I started learning from it, growing, developing. So it helped me to understand that it's just time to go. Sometimes you stay too long, and it was 33 and a half years. But when COVID came, that's what made me leave. So in 2020, that early out package, there's like 17,500 of us left and took that early out package at COVID. And then at that point, I started my company in 2018, but I joined John Maxwell team, and learned from them. And then at that point, I used that material on the current team. So out of 170 employees, about 150 of them transitioned through. I helped them get promoted to other jobs somewhere else. So I had a lot of transition going on. But then I started my company in 2021 full time in it. I took a little break in 2020, but then I went up. People thought I was crazy. It's COVID. Why are you opening up your own business, a consulting company? You know nothing about it. You've never done that before. And I like to do things that you've never done before. So
Mm.
that's what caused me. And then I developed the total business turnaround framework because of my success in the airline industry. If you can get through that industry and turn around major operations working with different generations. I had five generations in the workplace at one time. The ethnic background was different. They were from all over. So you had to work with that as well as two airlines combined, that mentality as well. Those are tough, tough odds, you're against. So since I was able to do that, especially staying compliant in the airline, everything has to be because you got people lives in your hands. So everything has to be checked and double checked, and you have to make sure you have all your documents and paperwork and your KPIs, your performance indicators, because people have died on the ramp before, So you want to make sure
Mhm.
that plane goes out safely and comes in. You have 30 minutes or less sometimes to turn it. It's a lot that go in there, and it's precision. So I learned how to master that. I said, well, if I could do that for the airline industry, I can help people, manufacturers, logistics. I can help, and I have. I came out, I've worked with the churches. I helped turn a church around and get them back open during COVID. I work with the Chamber of Commerce, helped them double their membership in the first quarter of last year each month. I work with clinics. I've worked with marketing companies. I've worked with, oh, Viola. It's another company. It's the number one utility company in the world, global. So I've worked with them, helped train 35 of their leaders in the Northeast region. I've worked with a number of different organizations. I can't name them all. Monroe Imagery, a refinery company. So it's so many different industries that I tested it out and it worked. It works. It really does. So that's why it was a good thing that I had to leave Delta because now I can do this globally and on a bigger scale. But for a little bit, I'm like, nah, I can't do it. You know how you doubt yourself and you just like, mm. But I'm a person of faith, so I do believe in God. And with him, I believe I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. But without that, yeah, no, not on my own.
Well, I love that. And I assume in addition to that, obviously that's the big part. Tell us a little bit about how your new Maxwell Family Network helped also.
Oh my gosh. I love the Maxwell Family Network. They are incredible. They're people of value who add value to people. I mean, to be mentored by John Maxwell and the whole team, Roddy and Chris Robinson and it's amazing. Valerie, all of these people, Marissa Nilsson, we just have a new financial lane that just came out. We're talking about incredible, loving people, not just counting our mentors, but the people from around the world. It's 162 countries and 62 coaches in 162 countries from around the world. And we come together twice a year and Steve, I can't explain that atmosphere when you walk into it. I go to church and still it's nothing like going to John Maxwell. We call it IMC because it's an International Maxwell Conference. It's where you get certified, and we go back as alumni and team ambassadors to help. We volunteer, go back, we pay to go, but we volunteer so we can bring on new coaches and help them grow and develop and make an impact in the world. And that's what it's all about. It's how can we add value to people? How can we make the world better? You just got to do it. You can't talk about it. You can't stay at home. You can't stay local. You have to do it, but you can't do it by yourself. Me being a solopreneur, I look forward to going there because I collaborate a lot with the Maxwell team. I meet other coaches and we stay connected. Even outside of those 2 months, 2 times a year that we get together, we stay connected and we're better together. We are.
I love that. I love that you have those connections with Maxwell and that network has proved to be so beneficial for you. You know, you've been successful everywhere you've been. Northwest, Delta, now for a few years on your own. Um, it's a great resume, but I'm sure it's not always been easy either.
No.
Tell
Mm-mm.
tell
No.
tell tell us specifically about a time when you didn't feel worthy of love, respect, or success.
When I was growing up, my parents, I loved them and understand as I got older, they didn't have the education. I have a double MBA, and I don't know. I'm so different from my other four siblings, and it was a struggle because I always felt something was wrong with me. That I wasn't worried because I was so different from them, and I had I'm a high DI, so I didn't know anything about that until I got into with this because um I seem aggressive, but I'm short, but I love people at the same time. So I can come across short, especially being in the airline industry because you're dealing with men. Men don't want all them details. Just give it to me in bullet points. So I learned how to do bullet points. You laughing, but you know what I'm saying.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I know, and that's so that's what I had become. And even at that point, it was tough. And then even when I worked in the airline industry. Think about this. You had to prove yourself. You're in boardrooms or you're in rooms, meetings, and you're the only one, only female, not even just of color. You talk about female sometimes. And you try to, present an ideal and they will talk over you, act like you don't exist. It's like, whoa. So I had to learn how to navigate through that. Or they'll take
Mm,
your ideals. One of my field directors, I had asked him to, this was a tough one too, Steve. I had asked him to recommend me for a job, right? And I know I qualified for it. He asked who was the hiring manager. I gave it to him. And then at that point, he said, okay, I got you. He said, oh, I know him. I work with him in Memphis, right? And I'm like, okay. And then I'm on the golf course, right? And I get a call from him, say, hey, I want to talk to you before you hear this from anybody else. That job that you asked me to recommend, I got it. And yeah, I had to do everything I could not cry because I'm with high value customers now playing golf when I got this message.
Oh,
It was like a stab in the heart. You know what I mean? And it was like, wow. So then like I said, even initially when I put in for all those positions, initially I felt unworthy. Like, is somebody blocking me? Why? I qualify, I have all the qualifications. And even I was a high performer. It's all, only feedback. They did give me feedback to say that I struggle accepting feedback. If it's wrong, I'm not going to accept it. And they didn't like that. You have to be able to, they felt that I was,
politics.
yeah, there you go. I didn't play along with politics well. Let's put it that way.
Mhm.
So I stood out. So that was one of the reasons. But you know what? I care a lot about people in general and want the best for not just the employees, but the customers. So whatever it takes. But yeah, it's times though, Steve. I have been struggles at night. I don't dwell on it. I pray about it and
Yeah.
I have affirmation statements to say I am worthy, I am loved by
Come
God,
on.
I'm loved by people. So I do that. I prepare myself till this day every morning. So you got to do it in advance. Don't wait until you get out
That's
there.
right.
You got to prepare. And I do prayer, meditation, read my Bible, affirmations, work out in the morning to get my day started right. So that way, whatever comes at you, you're okay. By the end of the day, you come in and you reflect and you just take some journaling to get it off your mind. That way, you don't sleep on it at night. You can get some good rest, you know? And look at what did I do wrong or how did I cause this and make changes or adjustments to yourself. So that's what I
I,
do.
I love that. And I certainly don't want to minimize that period of time because that's rough what you described. But isn't it so cool to now be able to look back and say God had something better all along?
Amen. Don't get me to shout right now.
Oh, go
Absolutely.
ahead.
Absolutely. So much better. Even now, he's taking me, I'm on that transition state right now. I've been getting a lot of things off my plate, and I'm being focused, laser focused, and target of what I need to do because my mission is greater. Right now, I really want to open up um, this place called it's an entrepreneur center, and it will house um, aging out of foster care, second chance, immigrants as well as unsheltered. But it's a entrepreneur center with three levels to it. You have businesses, various businesses on the bottom level, level one, training classes on the second, and the third level would be housing, and it's a 2-year program, and you partner with technical colleges and the veterans and whoever's licensed to teach like HVAC and all the jobs that are needed in the next 5 to 10 years. And you're training a new set of people because we got the shortage coming out for 10 industries, Steve, 10. So I want to get ahead of that to start training people to fill those positions. And you have to look outside differently because the younger college students, I love them, but they don't want to do any of that hands-on work. A few of them do, but for the
Hmm.
most part, and we don't, a lot of people unfortunately are getting kicked out of the country who may be willing to step in and do those. So we got to look at what are we doing in advance? What are we doing to help?
Yeah. Wow, absolutely. Well, I love that you appear, from my perspective, to be in your sweet spot. I mean, you're in the zone right now. Are you happy?
I am. I am. Because the more people I can really help and the more legacy help. We talk, that's what John teaches us too. John Maxwell teaches us about legacy. It's not about me. Forget me. Forget all the accolades, all the awards, all that other stuff. But what kind of impact am I leaving? My children, as well as the ones that are coming up. Because we've exited so fast, as far as my group is the baby boomers, out of society so quickly and we're not looking back to help for the most part, right? We're down to 12% of boomers in the industry now.
Mm,
And by 2030, that 12%, the rest of them are eligible for retirement. At least 45 to 55% of them are eligible for retirement to even take more out of the industry, right? Then
wow.
it's walking out with legacy knowledge that tribal knowledge, that knowledge where you have wisdom attached to it and discernment as well as critical thinking is walking out and not passing it on. Yeah, we have AI and things of that nature coming out, but AI is not the type that'll do critical thinking, is compassion, empathy, these type of things are taught. AI can't teach that, you know. So that it's
That's
the
right.
soft skills per se that you're walking out the door with, and you have no idea. Nothing's documented or written down in a lot of these companies. So you don't even know what role that person who plays a critical role walk out the door with that knowledge. What do you do? And
Mm,
that's happening more and more. I see that out there in companies more and more. And they're
I
so in the
bet.
grind of everyday work. They're in the grind of doing the work. They have no idea when they grow so fast how their business is looking right now until somebody leaves and a critical person walks out that door.
Yep. Yep. That totally makes sense. Tell folks, Judy, where they can find you and the amazing work that you are doing. We will have it in the show notes, but I'd love for them to hear it from you.
Sure. JM at excelwithjudy.com. That's my email. And then I also have a landing page, go.excelwithjudy.com. And on that landing page, you can take an assessment to see where you are with the total business turnaround framework. And it'll identify where you stand right now with your business. And I highly recommend that you take that assessment just to give you an idea. Even if you could reach out to me also to book a consultation, and I'll be happy to sit down with you to discuss where you're at.
Love it. Love it. We will have that in the show notes for sure. Judy, let's have a little fun for a second before we close it out.
Okay.
I've not done this before, and we're gonna do this live. We're gonna do rapid fire. We're gonna get a little insight to your preferences.
Okay.
Chocolate or vanilla?
Swirl, both.
Books or podcast?
Books.
I'm a book guy too.
Mhm.
Cook or takeout?
Cook.
Early bird or night owl?
Early bird.
You didn't even hesitate on
No.
that. Sweet or salty?
I like a combination. I like both.
Coffee or tea?
I was coffee, but now I'm tea.
Okay.
I switched over.
I can't leave the coffee. I'll put it down for 6 months and I'll pick it right back up.
Oh,
Dogs or cats?
dogs.
All day long. Fist bump through the screen. Yes, I've got three. Now this one is going to sound funny now.
Okay.
Drive or fly?
Fly, fly, fly.
That's hilarious. Um, Camping or nice hotel?
Nice hotel.
Uh, After flying in, right? Oh, that's fun. I just love that. That was fun.
That
Um,
was fun.
Judy, how would you encourage? Last question. How would you
Okay.
encourage someone? You know what? It took everything today. They got out of bed.
Hmm.
They got their coffee or tea. They went to work because they have bills to pay and they had to. But I mean, their energy is sapped just doing that. They've got a dream deep down in their heart. They feel stuck. They don't have the confidence. They don't have the network yet. How would you encourage them to keep going? There's more, there's something better.
Serve. When you serve, you take the
Mm,
focus off of you and you put it on others. So when you do it for others that way, and the more you serve, the more energy you get. And then by serving, you start building relationships with other people as well. So then that's going to help you out in the long run as well. So it is taking focus off of you, what you don't have. Look in the house and write down everything that you have because you have everything you need. You just got to focus on what it is you do have and not what you don't have. That'll give you energy right there.
That's fire. Serve others. It'll get the attention off you and it'll give you energy. And although you didn't use the word verbatim, I heard in that choose gratitude.
Yeah, oh, definitely gratitude. Write a
Hmm.
gratitude journal. That's why I say everything that you have, that's you're right. You write it down. That's what you're grateful for because this is what you have. Focus on what you have. That will give you gratitude.
Yeah, it's amazing how much, even if you're having the worst day you've had in a year, and you do what Judy just said, just write down three things. And
Hmm.
like you can come up with three. Even on
Oh
your
yeah.
worst day, you can come up with three. And before long, if you stick with it, just a few minutes later, don't be surprised if you got 40 or 50.
Yep. Yep.
You got to
Don't be
start, you got
surprised.
to but when you're in that spot, you got to start with three and just
You got to
see
start with
what
three,
happens.
but
Yeah.
then you do it every day. And that's how it builds momentum. And that's how, you won't be sluggish getting out of bed. You won't have to. That's why I was able to get rid of coffee because I journal every morning with gratitude, all the things that I'm grateful for and what I have. I focus on that. And then more will come. You just got to be grateful and stay in that space versus the what don't I have, because you can always look at something you don't have but you have more than you think you have.
So good, so good. Judy, I want to thank you for sharing with us today your experiences, your vulnerability, your successes, your excitements, your adventures in Philadelphia and Detroit and Hawaii. I know I got the order of that messed up.
Yeah,
And
I know
now
it was.
and now in Georgia. I really love that advice you gave at the end about serving. And it's so obvious how much you love God and you want to help other people. Thank you for being our special guest today.
Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate you, Steve.
Absolutely. Guys, last thing I'll say today is wherever you're at on the journey, it's a chapter. It's not your entire book. And some of us, no, I take that back. If we still have air in our lungs today, there's still a purpose, there's still a plan that God has for us. And the best chapters, some of the best chapters of our life are still being written. We just got to persevere to see those chapters. And I want to see future chapters in Judy's life. And I want to see those future exciting chapters in your life. So take the next step. I appreciate each one of you. Till next time, God bless.
God bless. Thank you.